worship of our church too.
There's no God like Jehovah. 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 Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice as we get up to the lead. And down Zion till salvation comes. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice as we get up to the lead. And down Zion.
The way to the future, to the horizon. Never his mind on where he was. What he was doing. Thank you, my voice will never be the same. Luke believes that he is ready for training. I mean, he's the hero of the Battle of Yavin. He is the one who destroyed the Death Star. But Yoda knows better. Yoda knows that a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing. You know, with us, little faith focused in the wrong way can be very dangerous. So Yoda tries to teach Luke a little bit of a lesson. Next clip.
Yes, did thy strength flow from the Force? But beware of the dark side. Anger, fear, aggression. The dark side of the Force are they. Easily they flow, quick to join when they fight. If once you start down the dark path, forever will dominate your destiny. Consume you it will, as it did Obi-Wan's apprentice.
And Luke says, Vader, is the dark side stronger? No. Quicker, easier, more seductive. But how will I know the good side from the bad? You will know when you are calm, at peace, passive. Faith is like that. Our human emotions get in the way of things, don't they? We get so worked up and we want the quick way. We want the easy way. We don't have the patience. We want it now. Sound familiar with Luke's story? We want it now. But that frustration, that anger, I mean, how many of you guys have been there? I know of at least a couple of people personally, where you're like, God, I've been praying, I've been waiting, I'm ready now. And God, as Yoda in a way, is like, no. And then we have to think, how do we find that when we're calm, when we're at peace, when we're passive? How do we do this, though? If you guys come by the Fans for Christ table, I have a book there called Star Wars Jesus. It's where I got the idea for some of this. And the author is Caleb Grimes. He's actually a worship leader and a pastor. And I want to quote from his book. He says, "Contentment is a conscious practice of naming those things God has given to me, both material and immaterial, and thanking Him for each one individually. After I do this, I realize that God is providing for me and I lack nothing. Peace is quiet satisfaction in the practice of faith. It is feeling restful in good times and in bad, having confidence that God is in control of things even when we do not feel provided for. Peace is not natural to our sinful state. It is a gift of God's Holy Spirit to be used and practiced." How many times did Luke have to practice calming, being peaceful? That peace in God, that peace in faith, having that faith is something, it's a gift. We have to practice it. I mean, we saw on Hoth where Luke had to struggle to pull that lightsaber out of the snow to kill the Wampa and get away. But then on Dagobah, when he's calm, he's doing a handstand, he's lifting boxes and roxes, standing on his head, as Weird Al song says, and things like that. Philippians 4. "Rejoice in the Lord always. I say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness," remember peace and everything? "Your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near." Okay, Here's the hard part, guys, those of you who know where I'm going with this. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Easy to say, hard to do, right? You know, hard to get to us. But those fights are on a spiritual level. They are not on a physical level. And so we can bring the wrong things to the fight. Luke didn't understand that either. And so there he is, getting ready to face this cave. He's just finished some training, and he senses this presence. And he says, there's something not right here. I feel cold, death.
That place is strong with the dark side of the Force. A domain of evil it is. In you must go.
What's in there?
Only what you take with you.
And then Luke puts on his weapons belt with his lightsaber and his blaster.
Your weapons. You will not need them.
But Luke goes in anyway. And he didn't need that. He brought in, he had in there only what he brought with him. Our fears, our insecurities do that to us. Our worries, our emotions do that to us. We're trying to fight on a totally different level than we need to be fighting. If we have faith, that can be different. We know the struggles that Luke had in that cave. The first hint that he was of Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader's line. And that was hard for him. If he had not brought that in, if he had not brought his weapons, maybe the outcome would have been different. If we have faith in God, I can guarantee you the outcome would be different. So, let's say that we're starting to learn faith. Okay, you're getting some abilities in faith. You're starting to learn the faith way, the Jedi way. Like Luke, growing in his abilities as a Jedi. He did grow on Dagobah. Matthew 17:20. Here's another really hard one. He replied, because you have so little faith. I tell you the truth, this is Jesus talking, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Wow, is it really that easy? I mean, you guys ever seen a mustard seed? I actually have some of these in my car, which is down at home, but I've got a jar of mustard seeds in my car to help remind me of this tiny, tiny little things. And if you have true faith, only that small, you can do anything. Luke didn't understand that. His X-Wing started to go down into the swamp, and he tries to lift it.
I say?
Master, moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different.
No different. Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
More whining here. All right, I'll give it a try. And then probably my favorite Yoda line of all. Last clip.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No. Try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
I love that line. Trust me, that's like my philosophy in life.
Except when your wife throws it back at you.
Except my wife throws it back at me, yes. We try. We say, all right, God, I'm going to try to have faith in you. I'm going to try to do that. There is no try, guys. You're either going to have faith or you're not. And it's not easy. I'm trying to get that across. It's not easy. But if you have that faith, you know, the whole scene there, Yoda, so calm, so in tune with the Force, this teeny little shriveled up guy, and he lifts this up. And the X-Wing fighter very calmly moves and settles down as easy as a feather. And Luke's like, I don't believe it.
And that is why you fail.
If you don't believe it, that is why you fail in your faith. So, what happens when you do have faith? What happens? Luke confronts Vader for the first time on Bespin. He loses the battle. He loses his hand. everything is going bad. He finds out that his worst enemy is the Father that he has been modeling himself after. And so he's tempted. Vader says, "Come with me. We'll rule the universe together." We're tempted sometimes, aren't we? We're tempted by God. We're tempted by Satan. And Satan sometimes says, "Come over to my side." Luke has a defining moment here. He says no. But not only that, no, never all that. What does he do? He lets go. He falls down the center of Cloud City. You guys ever hear the phrase leap of faith? That's kind of a leap of faith that Luke makes. He had no idea that the winds would carry him into this nicely sloping and curving tunnel, and then, he would manage to get out. Okay, he fell through the bottom, and he's hanging there, and, he gets in touch with Leia, but he had that leap of faith. How many times, you guys may have heard this or seen this analogy, you're kind of getting there on the end of your rope. You're dangling over, metaphorically of course, you're dangling over this great chasm, and you're hanging on to this knot. And you're asking, "God, help me." And what does God say? Let go. Really? You sure about that? There's a skit that Stacey's run before. It's basically all about this. And the end line is, there someone else up there I can talk to? We get to that end of that rope, and we have to have that leap of faith. And it's not always easy. It's hard to do that. That leap of faith is trusting in God. Luke, in a way, was trusting in the Force. He refused his tempter. We can too. When we fully trust God, when we have that real and abiding faith, and when we let go over the deepest chasm, God takes hold. And really, that's about the only time that he can. Because we hold on to that so much. That's about the only time that he can truly take control, is when we let go that much. So Luke, he goes on to be a Jedi. He saves Han and his friends from Jabba the Hutt. Okay, he had to fight the Rancor and everything. He had a little oops moment there. And if you notice, here's a really interesting thing. He's getting ready to face the Rancor. And what does he do? He uses the Force to get a blaster from somebody. He's going down this pit. He wants a blaster. He didn't completely trust even then. A little minor point, but I think it's a kind of an interesting one. And then he ends up facing Vader again. Different circumstances this time, on the forest moon of Endor. And he says, "Come with me. Come with me, Father." And then Vader refuses, and he ends up facing the Emperor, the great tempter, the one in charge of all of this. And the Emperor is twisting him. He's saying, "Your rebellion is going to fail. Look, the Death Star is actually operational. And oops, see your spaceships getting blown up. Your friends are captured. All is lost." And then he gets into the fight with Vader. And he starts to almost give in. He starts to let the anger. The Emperor even says, "I can feel your anger. Let it go." And when his sister, Leia, is threatened, he kind of gives in. Pay attention to this point, guys. There's the one moment at the end. He has beaten down Vader, and then he has cut Vader's hand off, direct mirror to what Vader did to him. And there's this moment where he realizes, back when he faced Vader, when he first got captured on the Force Moon, he had some faith that his father was still good. He had faith in his father. And Luke turns off his lightsaber, and he turns around to the Emperor, and he says, "You have failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi Knight, like my father before me." Luke's faith in his father's love, and his love for his father, and his faith in his father, is what redeemed him, what saved him at the very end when he was almost ready to give in. We have Father in heaven. Faith in that Father, God, Jehovah, that is our redeeming quality. That is our salvation. Faith in Christ. That is our defining moment, that we have that faith. His love for us, our love for him. Faith and love was important to Luke and his father, and we have that too. So faith isn't easy to come by. We only begin with the barest understanding of what it means when we first start down that journey, just like Luke did. We don't really understand where it comes from a lot of times. But as we travel along that journey, we have missteps. We have problems. We sometimes lose a little bit of that. But trust in God. Read his word. It's in there. Encouragement is throughout the Word of God. How to follow faith is throughout the Word of God. If you have even the smallest bit of real faith, you can do anything and make it through anything. God has promised you that. Not me. God has promised you that. So, will you guys have faith? We have faith in God, real faith. Remember, try not, do or do not. There is no try. Have faith in God. Let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for your blessings. We thank you for giving us that strength. Lord, I know there's people in here that struggle. There's people in here right now who are thinking about, how do I have the faith to get through this or that? How do I have the faith to make it? It's a gift from your Holy Spirit, Lord. Grant that to them right now. Bless all of us. You are so great and so glorious, and we want that to be shown right here and right now. So, Lord, lay your Spirit down upon us. Touch every heart as we ponder on you and meditate on you and pray. We love you, God. Thank you for your blessings and your faith. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Next CD for the song.
Because you were forsaken and unaccepted, you were condemned, and I'm alive and well. Your Spirit is within me, because you died and rose again. Because you were forsaken and you were condemned. I'm alive and well, your spirit is within me, because